There's a common notion that installing a dash cam in your car is a simple process and requires minimal experience and tools. And in some regards this is true. In reality we see many mistakes which have potential for major consequences if not corrected. When it comes to working with cars such as this 2016 Mercedes C63 AMG, there are a few things that you should be aware of before attempting any type of installation.
Welcome to the Integrated Solutions video series, brought to you by Autofidelity and hosted by Terence Toh.
Hi, I'm Terence Toh and welcome to this episode of Integrated Solutions. We're using the Blackvue DR650 GW 2-channel dashcam system today. This is one of our favourite dashcam systems. If you'd like to know more about this system, we've done some previous videos which you can find on our website at autofidelity.com.au. Just like our previous videos, we'll be following a basic 7-step process which consists of 1. Layout system components and testing. 2. Vehicle disassembly. 3. Installation. 4. Initial testing. 5. Vehicle reassembly. 6. Final testing and system setup. And 7. Final checks. Now the process that we use in our workshop is more involved than this, including things like a vehicle pre-inspection, post-inspection and vehicle diagnostic checks. This car is a great example of where a dash cam can be really effective. In this case, we've had this customer come to us to get this dash cam fitted because he's basically come back to his car one day and seen this damage at the front of his car, just around the front wheel arch there, while his car was parked in a parking lot. If he had the dash cam before that happened, would have definitely captured the footage of the damage happening and also maybe a registration number of the car that did it, and been able to actually follow up, which obviously reduces insurance costs and things like that. So just a great example of where dash cams can be helpful. And it's unfortunate this almost brand new car and quite a nice car has been damaged, and the people who've caused the damage haven't left any sort of note or anything like that, or actually owned up to just doing it. Okay, so today is going to be a little bit of a combined effort. I've got my very good friend Jared here, who's going to help us, who's going to help me and maybe help you to get this installation done. How are we? Okay, so here we have the components that we're going to be installing today. We've got the Blackvue DR650S, which is just a new model of Blackvue system, replaces the GW system. Front camera here, we're going to mount that to the front windscreen. We'll show you that very shortly. And rear camera gets mounted to the rear windscreen facing backwards. We've got the power cable here. So power cable's got this cigarette lighter kind of socket on the end of it, and also just the connector which connects into the main unit. And then just over here we've got the cable which connects the front camera or the rear camera back into the front camera system unit. And Blackvue have just started supplying these little things. You can use these as trim removal tools. We've got our own tools that we generally use, but that's quite a handy little tool to at least have in the kit. And then just a little USB there. We're also going to be installing this with the PowerMagic Pro today. And over here, we've already started harnessing up the PowerMagic Pro, just a wiring harness. So we use a fabric tape. So we use a fabric tape here on the actual harness. We've actually extended this one already, so we've already started doing a little bit of work on it. So that will plug into there. The power cable from the Blackvue plugs straight in, nice and simple, and this will power up the Blackvue itself. Now we use this tape here, which is just a fabric tape, and it will prevent things like rattles that you'll find in cars like this Mercedes. All the factory wiring harnesses have are wrapped in this type of tape. So there you have it. Okay, so we're just looking at the positioning of the front camera at the moment. So the position that we're going to mount it in this car today is basically just up here. It's nice and high. We're on the passenger side here, so it's well out of the driver's field of view. In fact, he's hardly going to see it. The driver's hardly going to see it at all. Just need to make sure of a couple of things. Well, the other advantage of having it here is that the cabling can just go straight up into the roof lining there, so it'll sit up above the roof lining. And we'll just need to make sure that we can access the switch. So we need to keep it just far enough away from this little this panel here, just to make it so you can get your finger in there and access that button if you ever need to. So pretty much there is where we're going to go. Now for the rear camera, it's nice and compact, this camera. So we're going to put it in the centre of the rear windscreen, up towards essentially what will be towards the top of the rear windscreen when the tailgate's actually closed up. And then we'll run the cabling. So there's a connector here. We'll run that cable, the video cable that runs from the rear camera to the front. That'll run just in nice and neatly behind this panel here. So we'll pull that panel off shortly. But that's your rear camera position there. So it's up nice and high. It'll get a nice view through the rear windscreen, and it won't obviously obstruct the driver's view either. We wouldn't want to be mounting it right in the centre of the windscreen or anything like that. So that will be the best position in this case. Okay, so then the last main component we've got is the little PowerMagic Pro. In this car, we're going to look at mounting it just behind the kick trim. There's plenty of different places that you can put it if you want to shift it around, but this will be reasonably accessible later on if we ever need to. The PowerMagic Pro can be, you can adjust settings by adjusting dip switches and things like that. So it's good to have it at least accessible if you need to. Yeah, so now we're just going to start on vehicle disassembly. So we start at this end, obviously, because we're fitting the rear camera. So to begin with, we're going to pull these trims off from the tailgate, and then we'll kind of work inside from there. Jared's going to start by doing a bit of a demonstration for us. Let's do it. So these little trims here, they kind of pop off from in behind. As you can see, just kind of put the little trim tool just in behind that trim, and just very carefully kind of pop out. There we go. So hopefully you can see that. So just show you these quickly. The way that once they're popped out, they actually release a clip. So once these are popped out, they actually release a clip from inside there, and that's what's this panel up into the tailgate. So then just slowly and carefully kind of work your way across. Okay, over here. Now, inevitably, some of these little clips are going to get left behind and in some cases broken. So what we do is we keep replacement clips in stock. But just show you a little trick to get these clips out. You can use I've got just a pair of side cutters here, anything that you can kind of grab them with nicely, and then you put your plastic trim tool just in behind it. And obviously if you squeeze too hard with the side cutters, you're going to snap the clip in half. But what we do is we just lightly pop that out, and that's worked quite well. All right, and that way we'll get that clip out without any real damage whatsoever. All right, and any clips that get broken in the process, they just need to be replaced. So next we've got these two panels off. The main one, the first kind of trim cover, and then the main panel at the back here. Next we're going to pop this off. So basically we just start by, there's a couple of clips that go into the in through the panel here. We're going to pop those clips out, and then the rest of it will just pop out as we go. Okay, so now we've got those panels removed. Okay, so now we're just going to basically we've got to remove this grommet. The wiring is going to run here through the grommet down into the car. So we've just got to free this up. We need to be able to run our cable through there. So Jared's going to demonstrate quickly how that's done. And the first thing he's going to do is just kind of free up the grommet. It goes through this plastic clip here. There we go. That allows you to pull that out. And then he just needs to release the grommet itself. I don't know whether you can see that, but there are some clips just here and here. Once they're released, that'll just pop straight out. Okay, so success, and that will allow us, that'll give us enough room to be able to actually run our cabling through here. So now we just need to remove the A-pillar trim. We can do that just with a trim tool. That little clip there that says airbag on it, once that's removed, that'll release the top of the trim and allow us to pop the trim out. And there we go. Okay, now we need to remove the kick trim, but before we remove the kick trim, we've got to remove this panel that pops out from underneath the glove box. Pretty simple to remove, but pretty difficult to get on video, so there's just a few clips. It pretty much just comes straight down. Okay, so now we continue, and we're going to be removing this kick trim. Pretty difficult to see in there, but it pops, there we go, straight up. That's how simple it is. Okay, so now we're going to run the camera cable for the rear camera. So basically, we'll start by running the rear camera cable. This is it here. We'll run it up from under the roof lining there, up into this little cavity here, through the grommet, up into the tailgate, and towards the rear camera there. Then what we'll be able to do is, with the other end of this, we pre-run a bit of yellow tongue here. We'll be able to attach the other end of this, which I'll do while Jared's doing the rest of the running, and because we've already pre-run that through, we can pull it straight through to the front of the car. Okay, so I just want to mention a couple of things that Jared's done. To begin with, he's used a bit of this stuff to actually get, which we kind of use it's actually a wax, but we kind of use it in this regard as a bit of a lubricant, just to actually get the cabling through the grommet without leaving anything that's going to cause any damage, any residue that's going to cause any damage to anything. So that's a nice simple little trick. The other thing is obviously he's just used some nice little cable ties, cable tied that cable so it won't move, and we're running it alongside the factory wiring there. And the other little thing that he did was just to use a whiteboard marker. So with a whiteboard marker, that's what he's used to line up the centre of the rear camera, and then after he's mounted the rear camera, the whiteboard marker can just be you can just wipe that away. So nice and handy. Okay, so now we're just going to pull that through towards the front. It's going to be really quite gentle, quite careful here. As you pull it through, remembering that you're going straight past the airbag. So in this case, what we're doing is we're actually running this. We're going to run the cable above the airbag, so it won't be affected if the airbag actually goes off, and obviously so that we're not affecting the airbag itself. Okay. Almost there, done. Okay, so now we've got the rear camera cable up to the front. We need to run, I've now put the power cable in, already started running it down the pillar here. And we now just need to run it just across the top of the roof lining here. Gently. And it kind of just tucks just in above the roof lining there. And once it's in there, it will not come back out again. Okay. And so then once we've run the cables up to here, basically what will happen is they can get connected into the camera. So just quickly, just to make sure that it sticks down properly to the glass, just use an alcohol prep pad, just a cleaning pad, and just clean this section of the glass. That'll take a few seconds to dry. And while that's drying, we can plug this camera in. Then what I'll do here is I'll just line this up, make sure there's enough space for that little button so we can press it. Peel back the tape and we'll stick that on. Okay, all done. So at the moment, Jared's just getting ready to install the PowerMagic Pro. He's already plugged it in and he's just really taping up the wiring harness. Very difficult to show this on video, it's hard to get in there, but that's the PowerMagic Pro there. He's made a little wiring harness that runs with it. and we can kind of just tuck the wiring harness away, and then we'll mount the PowerMagic Pro just in there behind that, that kick trim. Okay, so Jared's actually just running the power wiring now, just across to the other side there. We'll see if we can get across to the other side of the car just to give you an idea of what's going on. We're going to run the power wiring into the fuse box and connect it all in. Okay, so now that we've done some initial testing, I'm just going to start reassembly. We really appreciate your feedback, so if you've enjoyed this video and would like to see more, like it and subscribe to our channel. If you'd like to know more about this and other similar products, you can check them out at autofidelity.com.au, or otherwise send us an email at solutions@autofidelity.com. You can also make suggestions for future episodes of Integrated Solutions by emailing us at solutions@autofidelity.com. The more requests we get for a video, the more likely we are to make it. So send us an email and let us know if there's something that you would really like to see. Thanks for watching and have a great day. The more requests we get for a video, the more likely we are to make it. So send us an email and, well, no, let's try that doing that. You can also send us suggestions for future episodes of Integrated Solutions. You can also send us suggestions for future episodes of Integrated Solutions. There's a common notion that... let's try again.